I actually had to convince Clay to hire me.
The most important thing that either one of us will ever do is raise our kids. You go to serve and you end up getting more out of it than the people you're even helping. None of this matters. This business doesn't matter. If it goes away tomorrow, it's fine. Find something and just stick to it.
Welcome to SaaS Dads, where we scale SaaS without sacrificing family.
All right, awesome. So we are back for another episode of SaaS Dads today, but slightly different. So today we're going to do SaaS Dads, but it's SaaS couples. So welcome today, Clay and Carly Lawrence. How are you guys?
Good. How are you?
Excited to be here.
Excited. Awesome. Look, thank you so much for joining. And if anyone's watching this going, hang on, this is SaaS Dads, why have we got a couple in here? So the reason why we're chatting is that I've known you for a little while. We've done a webinar together before, and we'll get into that about your awesome business that you run in HighLevel. But I saw you guys both at the Level Up event in Dallas. And Clay, you explained to me that Carly had just joined you in the business at that time. That was back in October last year. And Carly had just joined the business at that time or a few months prior. And I said, that would be amazing. Wouldn't it be fun just to do a little conversation about what it's like working with your better half? And that's you, Carly, definitely the better half. I was going to say that.
For sure. For sure.
But what it's like working with your better half in a SaaS business. So that's what we're going to have a little chat about today. We did say as well, we'll make sure that there's therapy afterwards for you guys if we need to. And if anyone needs to step out of the room for a moment, like we'll be all good, okay? We want to stay SaaS couples and not SaaS divorce at the end of it, all right?
That's right.
That's
That would be
true.
bad.
That's
That would be
true.
bad.
That would be bad. So awesome. So thank you so much, guys, for coming in and doing this. I'm quite excited because I think it's going to be fun. It's something a little bit different. And I know from my own personal experience working with my wife in business how that can actually be. So before we dive into that as well, let's just cover a little bit, first of all, about what your business is and how long it's actually been going. So just give us a little rundown about what it is that you've done with HighLevel there, Clay, to start with.
Yeah, for sure. I got started with HighLevel in college. I did what most people do. Oh, this is amazing. Let me go show people. And so I just tried to sell anything and everything in HighLevel. And then after a couple of years of playing around, getting clients, losing clients, all the stuff, it was like this whole review feature. I actually heard a story Sean Clark said about his like AC guy that came. Apparently it's a famous story now. Rob was telling me it's famous, but basically, Sean hires an AC guy. He goes over, hey, you need some reviews. Sean sets him up on HighLevel for $300 a month or whatever it was. And that AC guy has been a customer of his for forever. And so I was like, that's a great idea. I'm just going to go all in on that. And so a lot of it was because I actually was working with a lot of different businesses, doing a lot of different things in HighLevel. And I was pretty stressed out because I was pretty spread thin, spending a lot of time in delivery. And Carly was like, they all love that review thing that you do. And I was like, yeah, but that's not like a business. She was like, why not? And so it was really a lot of it was Carly's idea for us to rebrand into Review Harvest and then go all in on just helping local businesses get more reviews. So started like kind of rebranded there like late 2022. And at this point, we've been doing that now for 3 years. She got started in February of last year. So it's like her year. I think your year might be today, actually. I think her year is February 1st.
Oh,
so it's yeah.
happy anniversary.
Yeah. But been doing it now. I think we've helped over 900 local businesses get more Google reviews. And
Amazing.
so, yeah, we're plucking along. We love it.
Mate, that's so good. So Carly, it was all your idea is basically what I heard in there. Like Clay owes everything to you.
100%. 100%.
And you started this pretty young, like you said, just straight out of college.
Yeah, I found HighLevel in college, and then I got enough clients and enough money coming in every month in college where I was like, I'm not going to get a job. And I just went straight into it from there. And so I'm 23, she's 24. We're relatively young and yeah, it's been fun.
I can imagine. And what was it like, or what was it, the journey to bringing Carly in? So Carly, you joined the business in February. Was it just that you went, oh, I've just got so much going on, I need some extra help? Or was it that you didn't like your job? What was it that brought you into the business?
I asked for a raise at my previous job and I didn't get the raise. And I throw myself into everything that I'm in. So I was like, this is something I really care about. That raise would have really, I guess, done it for me. And so I actually had to convince Clay to hire me. At the time, we were going through like a transition period in the business. And I was like, this is perfect. This is a perfect time. I can learn the old way. I can learn the new way. And it took some convincing.
It did.
Yeah.
I'm a pretty risk averse person. I It's funny because I know like entrepreneurs are, I guess, not the most typical risk averse normally, but I like the idea of, hey, my business can fail, and we got Carly's paycheck every month. I
Yeah.
loved that idea, and so it really took like kind of Review Harvest growing, and then also like the YouTube high level affiliate stuff I do. It took that growing as well, where I was taking on more responsibility. That's why like we're going through that transition time where it's like I was spending a lot of time on YouTube, and then Review Harvest was just like I was trying to do both. And she should have been a lawyer. She is the most convincing person I know because she gets on something and it is just incessant. It is like day, night, lunch, dinner, breakfast, getting her coffee, whatever it is. She's just thinking of new ideas as to why this is the best thing in the world. And so I think it only took a week really to convince me. But
At least 3 times a day, they're bringing it up.
oh yeah, and she was an amazing, like she said, she throws herself. She was an amazing employee, going above and beyond. She was like already. I saw her working 45, 50, 55-hour weeks for this other company she was working for, and I was like, she's definitely not getting compensated for all that work. And so Carly was like, Clay, I'm going to work even extra for you, and we get all the upside because it's our business, but we don't get any of the upside in my role currently. And I was like, she's right, she's smart.
And how was that salary negotiation there, Carly, when you came in? Did you go hard for your raise?
Yeah, it
Nothing.
took quite the pay cut, but
Yeah. I don't know like how it is I don't know how it is over there, but like we're an S-Corp, and so like we have to pay ourselves a reasonable salary, but
Yeah.
the more salary we pay, the more taxes we pay on that money typically. So we have to pay ourselves reasonably to stay in good standing. But yeah, she did take a pay cut.
Yeah, no, we probably have a similar thing here in Australia where you pay yourself a certain amount to stay in a certain tax threshold, but then the company
Yeah.
pays the rest of the tax and you spread it all
Yeah.
out. But I'm sure you guys will work all that out there anyway. But how is it now? So I guess before, like Carly, you would have been going off to work in the day. Clay, you work from home, or do you have a place that you go to work in office? I'm not sure.
yeah,
Like,
he had an office at home, and my previous job was actually remote. So I had started as I worked in retail, and then I got this job, or my job before this one, and it was remote, which it was a really nice transition because then for a year we had both been remote. So we would be able to still do lunch together. We were both working from home, but not working on the same thing. And then we started obviously both working from home, working on the same thing. For the first few months, I was in his office next to him, like learning everything I could. And yeah.
Yeah, and
uh,
we were already spending most hours of the day together. And so when we moved into the same business, it's like now we're spending most hours of the day together, but we're working on the same thing. So it was almost like it almost made it better because now when she has a bad day, she's going to debrief her bad day, and I got to hear it. I got to be emotionally available for that. And then when I had a bad day, I'm gonna debrief it, and she's got to be emotionally available for that. Nowadays, we're pretty in sync. If we both have a bad day, don't need to talk about it. We know what happened. We don't want to hear about it. We just want to go to sleep, shower, eat something good, and go to sleep. Yeah.
so you were both in the same space as in physical environment anyway, working on different businesses, like you with your job, Carly, you with Review Harvest, Clay, but you were both in the same office or same physical space before anyway. Now
Yeah.
you've just
Yeah.
now you just got the
When she's
same.
not working from her bed.
Yes. Yeah.
She likes to work from her bed.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Bit of laptop
Definitely.
lifestyle in bed.
If I'm not on the call, I will be doing some work responding to emails in bed.
Yeah. I'm a person, I'm very dedicated to my desk. This is where I work, and I don't want to bring my laptop away from my desk. I
Okay.
just came back, as I mentioned to you before we started to call, I just came back from Mexico, and we had a bit of a family holiday there beforehand. So my wife and son came over, and then Sarah Cordner, who you may know, Diamond Saspreneur, she's in Australia as
Yeah.
well. She came with her family before, so we had a little group family holiday. And there were some
Ooh.
times where she was like catching up with her laptops on the sunbed on the beach. And I was like, why? I was like, I want to be on the beach enjoying the beach. Like, I'll go
Yeah.
back and I'll do my emails in the hotel room and just get that done. And then I
Yeah.
can come away. I'm very,
Yeah.
this is my space, my place of work. I would not like to bring my work in, definitely not into my bed zone. I feel like it needs to be very separate for me, very separate. So it sounds like for you guys anyway, like your morning routine or your kind of day routine hasn't changed that much because you had that for the last 12 months anyway. So you knew what it was like to be together in each other's space all the time anyway. Have you got
Yeah.
how do you think you're going to manage that moving forward now that you're in the business together? Are you conscious of the fact that like it can become consuming? So I'll tell you from my experience, like working with my wife, we both have our own businesses now,
Mhm.
very separate, but we also used to work in the same business together all the time in a digital agency, both in mine and also in a digital agency that we both worked in Australia. And there becomes a time where for us, it became like we realized everything is work. And so that's what we were talking about. It's just work and more work. And then, like you say, you get to the end of the day and you don't really want to talk about it anymore. So then you have to think about how do we manage our relationship outside of work? Because the thing that we have in common is work. And when you
Yeah.
both have different places of work or different work colleagues, you can talk about them. You go, oh, you won't believe what Tina did today in the
Yeah.
office.
Yeah.
Now you don't have that separation. Are you guys conscious of that and that you might need to come out of that at some point as well? Because it's still fairly new for you now, working
Yeah.
together.
I feel like, yeah, that was something that we talked about a lot when I started working with him full time, because it was like, Carly, this could be all we talk about. Like, we need to be very honest with each other. If, hey, I'm done, I'm done with the work day. But also, before I started working with him, like I said before, I would jump headfirst into whatever job I had. So I would talk about it all the time. And then now it's exciting to talk about it. And now I feel like we work on very different things. We have some different roles in the business, which has been cool, where I look up and he tells me what he did today. I'm like, oh, I had no idea. And then I'll tell him about my calls that I had today or something like that.
Yeah, for sure. I think like like she said, we've always been obsessed about what we do. And so we're just talking about the same thing, just in a different side of the business. Like she does sales and onboarding for the most part. I do other stuff in the business. I just sit around and watch YouTube all day most of the time, honestly. But no, we got content, whatever. But since we were always talking about work, we now get to talk about work that we both know about and enjoy. And so it's actually been better, I think, in that sense. But when it comes to like things we talk about outside of work, I think we're pretty good. We're pretty busy people, busy normal people outside of our business. Like I don't think we're not like straight up Alex Hormozy, hermit shell, work all day, don't talk to anybody, work on the weekends. Like we work on the weekends if we need to, but like we have a good social life and good other things going on outside of work that gives us, I think, enough variation to keep us from just turning into work creatures.
So what do you like to do then outside of that? What's downtime for Clay and Carly? What do you do?
Ooh, we're suckers for true crime podcasts and
Oh,
true crime series on Netflix.
Yeah.
And so we do that a lot in our downtime. And then on weekends,
We hang out with friends, and we've got a pretty good like church group that we have been hanging out like outside of our church group. And so, yeah, really just hang out with friends, getting dinner. When it's nice, go to the beach because we live near the beach, which is super nice. But yeah.
yeah, we stay pretty busy outside of work. It definitely hinders the business, but sometimes there's certain points of the year, like for 3 or 4 or 5 months at a time, where we'll have something to do on Tuesday nights, we'll have something to do on Wednesday nights, we'll have something to do on Thursday nights, and then Friday night and Saturday night, we obviously go hang out with friends or do something. And so, like, pretty much every day we get away from the business normally.
no, it's important because you guys are still young. And I know we said this anyway, like this is SaaS dads. You guys are not parents yet, but
Yes.
yet. You
Yes.
talk about that because you guys are still very young as well. Like you're still 24, you said. So you'd be 24 now, Clay? 25, Carly? Sorry, is that right?
I'm 24 and he's soon to be 20.
23.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I'm
Or,
Okay.
23.
yes. Yeah.
I beg your pardon. Sorry, I thought you said you were 23 before. But yeah, so you guys are still very young. I didn't have my son till I was 42. And that was because we had a very long journey into parenthood. Like we had a long time to try and then a long time out of IVF. It took us a long time to have my son. But we didn't start thinking about having a family until I was early 30s, basically. So what does that look like for you guys? I mean, you're quite inspirational to me. Like I'm a lot older than you guys, but I'm inspired by you guys because you're very young and like look at what you've actually done and the sensible way that you've done it. I think it's really inspiring at your age to be where you are and achieve what you have. So what's the thoughts for the future for you guys for family?
Yeah, I feel in the next, I am probably depending on, it's nice because we're young, like you said, and there's no, okay, once I'm this age, I need to make sure and all this stuff, or probably start thinking about having kids in 2 years, just to see where we are financially, and hopefully we'll start to slow down a little bit on our extracurricular activities.
Yeah, you see how I let her answer that question first? I was like, oh, what's she thinking? Yeah, you go ahead. What you got? But now I think that also we're like the youngest the youngest people in our friend group. Most of our
Yeah.
friends are 3, 4, 5, or 6 years older than us. And so I do think, and also my sisters are older than I am. And so I think that we will probably wait for other people's dominoes to fall because we'll probably be friends with them for a really long time. And then once all of our friends else starts having kids, we'll probably start as well. Because then now we'll all have kids, their kids will be able to be friends. And then I think your extracurricular life and hanging out with people changes when all your friends have kids. Like you might as well go ahead and have kids too, because you're going to be hanging out with their kids. Maybe not. I don't know. I'm just a 23-year-old. I could be stupid, but I think
Oh,
we'll
it
probably,
changes, mate.
yeah, but we'll probably wait and see when all of our friends and sisters and siblings and stuff are having kids and go from there.
Yeah, I can tell you, mate, it changes a lot in terms of what you can do and the freedoms that you've got, and then the time, and
Yeah.
especially, everyone talks about that, like when kids are very young, like the sleep that you don't get anymore because they
Yeah.
just you're constantly looking
Oh,
after them. So it'll be a big change. Love to come back and talk to you guys when that does happen as well, because it'll be very exciting for
right.
you guys. But yeah, I think you guys, as I said, and honestly, I think you're inspiration in what you've done and achieved so far. So I think you guys will be amazing parents. You obviously think a lot about what you are doing in the future that you want together as well. And that's really nice to see. And again, you may not have thought about this in this depth anyway, but when you have kids, do you have a bit of a vision for how you would like your family life to be in terms of just values that you bring to kids? You mentioned that you have a church group, so you're involved in the church.
Yeah.
Very,
So I
very
guess,
much so.
yeah,
Yeah.
so I guess that involves family values and all those things that you want to bring into your kids and your kids' life as you grow. What does,
Yeah.
and you may have thought about this, you may not have thought about it in depth, but what does the future look like for Clay and Carly? The business has grown, you're at a place where you're comfortable, you're starting a family, and now you've got a family. What does that future look like for you guys? And you would like to bring and envision for your children of the future?
You want to take this one?
There you go.
Okay. This is probably another safe one to defer to
You like,
her. Um,
you can
yeah,
look back
we
to,
do talk about this. Yeah, we do talk about this. I think it really will depend on what Carly wants. I think that I am from the, and maybe this is wrong, but and I'm just gonna, this is just what I believe. I'm from the belief that the most important thing that either one of us will ever do is raise our kids. I think that role of spending time with kids, raising their values, their beliefs, like being involved in their life is the most important thing that each of us will do. Way more important than any silly business we start or anything like that. That's just how I feel right now. And I think that what that looks like is I would really love for one of us to have the time and the availability to raise them pretty hands-on and not just be like, hey, we're both working 80 hours a week. Let's throw them in a daycare, give them a babysitter, give them a nanny, whatever it is. Like I would really enjoy we plan to try and be really hands-on, whether that is Carly, whether that's like hiring somebody to replace Carly's role and she takes a smaller role and she does that, or that is me spending less time and figuring out how to do that. We'll probably work around that because that is definitely something that we want to be the ones raising our kids, and we don't just want to send them off somewhere for extended periods of time every day. But maybe that's naive. I don't know. We'll see.
Clay knows this also. I was a daycare kid. My parents own their own business, and I also am an only child. But I think if we are able, and we've talked about what kind of my role may turn into. Of Carly, do you want to be like a COO role of Review Harvest and like really take things on, or take a backseat, maybe support bookkeeping, things like that, where it's on an as needed basis? So I think that would be really cool to be able to do that. And you want to talk about like in terms of values?
Yeah, no, I think also like you were saying about Carly. Carly has that in her. So Carly, to brag on Carly, she started working at Lululemon, which is like which is like the best retail brand here in America. And
mm,
she started working there at 18. And from 2.5 years, she went from just like the lowest level position to an assistant manager role. And at that time, actually their manager was like pretty much gone most of the time. And so she was pretty much one of the two people running the store, one of their biggest locations in our area as a 20-year-old or 21-year-old. And so she has that in her where I think like she could definitely be the COO of Review Harvest or even CEO of Review Harvest, and she runs all the day-to-day operations, and I just sit down and record videos all day and watch YouTube, whatever I want to do. But it really just depends if that's something she wants to do. But I think in terms of values, like we're definitely religious people, we're definitely Christians, and so keeping them in church and all that sort of stuff is really important to us. But I think it'll be really interesting to see like how I don't want to force entrepreneurship on them, but I also want to force entrepreneurship on them. I don't know what that's going to look like. It's probably going to just be, I think it'll be challenging to get them to work for stuff. And I think something that really helped me was like as a kid, we got Christmas gifts and presents and all that stuff for our birthday and stuff. That was great. But anything outside of that, it was like you're gonna work and save up or something for it. I think that was a really good just feedback cycle for me to have as a kid, where it's, oh, if I want something, I have to work for it. I think that served
Mm.
both of us really well. And so I don't know how exactly we'll instill that, but that's definitely something we'll want to instill.
It's a very challenging thing to do. You talk about like
Yeah.
values and making appreciation, like because
Yeah.
like it's probably it's one of the biggest challenges that I personally face with raising our son as we go along. Like
Mhm.
he's 8 years old now, and as you want to give your kids the best in life, right? Everyone wants that. They want them to have something better than what they had. But at the same time, you don't want to turn to spoiled brats, right? Hopefully you don't. Anyway, some people do. They don't, they'll just give them whatever. But
Yeah.
giving them the best in life, but trying not to turn them into spoiled brats and making them understand that what you have is maybe not what everybody else has as well. You guys are growing Review Harvest, you're doing very well. Hopefully you get into a nice secure place financially, and with
Yeah.
that comes a bit the rewards of a nice home and a nice
Yeah.
car and those material things, which are nice. All right, we all appreciate that, but they're not the
Yeah.
most important things in life. But when you have young children, they are very attached to material things, and you'll find that.
Right.
And I think that's just across the board with kids. They want toys and sweets, right? They see that
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
shiny things that go around the supermarket, and it
Yeah.
is a challenge, and it's one that I struggle with all the time, and just constantly trying to explain that to your kids. Like our son, I've just come back from Mexico, and that was for a conference that we went to, and but
Yeah.
my family joined me before that. So my wife and my son, they were in Mexico, so we. That's in January. In February, I went to Pakistan because we have a whole development team over there. So I took my son to Pakistan, and that was like a work trip, but we had some time off there as well. We did some great things. And
Yeah.
then 2 months before that, we just had a family holiday in Bali. So we had three overseas trips in
Yeah.
the space of 4 5 months, whatever it is.
Yeah.
And trying to explain that to my son, and he just doesn't quite get it. That it's, mate, some people might not even have one overseas trip in a year. And he's,
Yeah.
really?
Forever.
Yeah,
Yeah.
or ever even. Yeah, definitely. Or even ever. Some people, it's like, they're very lucky if it's their one holiday a year is overseas or ever, as you say. So trying to give them that stuff and explain to them at the same time that this isn't what everybody gets. So appreciate it and trying to sit with them and say, hey, look at where we are, look at the things that we can do and the things that we see. Just
Yeah.
appreciate that and try not to
Yeah.
chase down the latest toys because there'll still be, I want this, I want that. You're in the airport, I want that. And you're like, mate, just appreciate all the things you've got. And it's a big challenge. I still don't quite know how to manage it myself other than
Yeah.
continuously explaining it to my son, which we do all the
Yeah.
time because
Yeah.
they forget as well. Whatever you tell
Yeah.
them, they forget in 5 minutes and then
For
they come
sure.
back
For
around.
sure.
So
Well, and I
I've,
think that's something that we talk about all the time. It's like we have a dream to have, there's a beautiful bay near us, and we have a dream to have a big bay house, a house on the bay with a boat and all the stuff. And we're like, not to put the cart before the horse. We're young, we've just started making decent money, and so we don't have just a bunch of money just sitting around. But like, in the future, if we keep working hard, I think that'll be very within the realm of possibility, God willing. But what does that do to a kid? If your kid's growing up in like the nicest house or one of the nicer houses on the block that's millions of dollars and on the bay and stuff, it's like, how does that affect them? Because neither one of us grew up like that. And so it's just like
yeah.
something to think about. We got to get to that point first to have to make the decision, luckily, but something to think about. And I think one thing that was really beneficial for both of us growing up as kids was we went on mission trips with our church every summer or more often. And I think just like getting out of the bubble that you're in and going and serving other places. And a lot of these were just in the United States. They weren't like overseas to third world countries. A lot of these were just like in the middle of nowhere, Arkansas, Marvel, Arkansas. And you go to Marvel, Arkansas, and kids who are growing up in incredible poverty, but are some of the most joyous human beings you ever meet. And I think it really just kind of like snaps you back to reality of, hey, you are incredibly blessed. Like we were incredibly blessed growing up. And so it's like, it gives you a better perspective on how the world actually works and that you're not entitled to everything.
Yeah, amazing. That's really interesting you mentioned that actually, because we were talking about that on our trip in Mexico about what can we do with our son, and that was one of the things that we really thought about doing. I'm not a religious person personally. I don't have a church group or anything, but we did talk about trying to do some things like that, like some volunteer work that we could go on and take our son. Maybe you guys can tell me what kind of ages did you do that? Because my son's 8, and
Yeah.
I think he's maybe a little bit too young at the moment to do that at the age of 8. I was
Yeah.
thinking when he's just maybe hitting double digits, 10 and 11 would be a good kind of age to do that before he's hit the I know everything
Yeah.
teenage years.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
maybe he's
Yeah.
got a couple of years more experience than he's got now and be more involved, able to do stuff and able to understand the situation a bit better. So what kind
Yeah.
of ages, I'm actually really interested now you mentioned that. What kind of
Yeah.
ages did you guys do that on? And do you think that's a good idea for, is that a good idea
Yeah.
for the ages that I'm thinking about? You could guide me here.
Yeah.
Yeah, 1,000%. I think so. Like when we went on actual trips, we went with like our youth group, and that was more in
Mm.
high school. But they had so many opportunities in when we were in middle school, and Clay, I know Clay went on them, but where they just would go take a bunch of kids out for a Saturday and volunteer locally and clean up somebody's yard. And I think it was very cool to see obviously how appreciative the people are who you're helping and just of this, yeah, like I'm not entitled to everything or to what my parents have, or oh, they won't give me this new phone or whatever it is. But it is very eye-opening. And I think like middle school age, was that when you started volunteering on the Saturday day out thing?
Yeah, I think we had a lot of, we're in Florida, and so we have a lot of hurricanes or natural disasters that come near close to us. And so we had lots of opportunities to just go serve, cleaning up somebody's backyard because a hurricane hit and a tree fell in their backyard, or just stuff like that when I was younger. And then,
Mm.
yeah, like 13, 14, 15, we went on mission trips almost every summer. And I think as like an entrepreneur who like values my time, and there's a lot of times I do things and I'm like, oh, that was a waste of my time. I regret doing that. And especially things that like aren't necessarily for the business. Like, but there's never been a time that I've gone on a mission trip or taken a day off for service or anything like that and regretted it. Cause I just think that something about that is I just feel like we were built to serve other people, especially other people in need. And I think something about that just goes really well with the soul. It's just puts you in the right place and helps somebody out in need today. It's a good thing. And you don't do it for the affirmation or anything like that. But it really, what we joke about on the mission trips all the time is that on these mission trips, you go to serve and you end up getting more out of it than the people you're even helping. That week of helping paint somebody's house or cleaning up their backyard or whatever it is can be more beneficial just to like your soul and your psyche and your mind than even the people you're helping. And yeah.
Yeah, that's really good. And I think, yeah, I think that's a really good thing that you guys have thought about there as well. And something, like I said, we've thought about. And ages to start. Sorry, you mentioned middle school. I'm not familiar with American. What age is middle school?
Yeah, it's like I think it's like a 10 to 13, like middle school ish,
Okay.
and then high school's 14 to 18. So we start like the smaller stuff in middle school. We definitely serve on weekends and stuff like that near around locally. And then 14 to 18, the further away mission trips, the week-long mission trips. And like you said, I do think it makes sense to like go ahead and get old enough to have the wherewithal of what's going on. I think if you're too young, then you probably just go and you're like, what are we doing? What is this all
Yeah.
about?
Yeah, I feel like he's a bit too young at the moment at 8. I feel like 10 would probably be good because then understand it a bit more, be a bit more physically capable to do things as well, to actually be
Yeah.
able to contribute a little
Yeah.
bit more, but definitely not waiting till 13 because that's when like it's probably too late to really no,
Yeah.
it's not too late. I shouldn't say that. I shouldn't say that at all. But get the appreciation there before that 13 age comes in, and then they'll just go, okay, this is what we do. Basically, this is what we do to help people and stuff. I think that'd be really good. So yeah, thank you guys. That's really interesting to know. That's maybe giving me another little okay, maybe I'm on the right idea there. Let's just talk about something else for a moment, all right? Because AI is the thing at the moment. I just come back from the AI summit, or AI Unleashed, sorry, in Mexico, which is like a little summit of learning AI and stuff. Do you guys think about that and what the future holds for your kids as well? Like, it's really hard to even think about it in some ways. Go, what does the future hold for our kids? What's their job security going to be like? What kind of jobs will they even do? What jobs are you going to do as well? You guys are still very young. I'm actually over double your age. I've just turned 50, all right? But I think about that for my son. It's what is he going to do? What kind of jobs are they going to be? Like, what's the point of him going to school at the moment? He goes to a really good school, and there's part of me that thinks about it. He goes, what's the point? What is he getting out of school at the moment? He's getting, I wouldn't take him away from school, obviously, because they get
Yeah.
interaction, learning, friends,
Yeah.
networking. There's a lot of good positives of all the human interaction, but the learning and stuff. Do you guys wonder about that? And this might just be for yourself, the future of the business, Review Harvest, or for your kids in the future as well. Do you think about that at all?
Yeah, I feel like you used to think about that more than I do, just about bringing kids into the world. What does that mean for their future and stuff?
Yeah, I think in terms of AI specifically, I think it's very interesting. So I lead a small group of girls who are in high school, and I don't mean to like say this about them, or even in high school, I guess we weren't in high school and ads coming out, but you have a test and you put the study guide into ChatGPT and okay, give me questions about it and things like that. And then that obviously can lead into cheating of, okay, here's the exact question on the study guide. What's the answer?
Yeah.
So things like that, I do think about. And the avatar that we serve for Review Harvest is home service business owners. So I think that gives us like a
additional time. They're just typically the local mom and pop businesses are pretty far behind in the tech side of things. And
Yeah.
I think we got some time there. But I think just in general in like the world, I honestly have no clue. I know that the different thing about AI is that AI can improve itself. That's the big difference with this compared to every other innovation. It's like when we created computers, the Industrial Revolution, whatever it was, that was all still humans working to improve upon the previous invention. Now we have AI getting better on its own. I guess that's like the big deal. But part of me is just they said that computers would replace all jobs and it just changed things, and we freaked out about it for a couple of years. And also I do think that there's an element of like dramatization that creates headlines, that we hear the most extreme examples and stuff like that gets clicks and stuff like that. And so part of me is that the more things change, the more things stay the same. Like it's just going to be just like computers. But I feel like this might be a little different. I honestly have no idea. And yeah, it's like creating a kid. It's like you have to carry that responsibility of thinking ahead. But I think that the likelihood of it just ruining everything is still relatively small. And so I don't think it's not worth foregoing that opportunity of bringing kids into the world for the chance that AI could ruin their work lives or something. I don't know. And I think if we do go to that point where AI does everything, then I guess they would probably discuss some sort of universal base income or something. I don't know what it would be, but there's still gonna be humans, and I'm just gonna figure out what I gotta do on my to-do list today. That's about as far as I go in the future.
Yeah, it's a very big topic and a big question to think about because it's changing so much every week, every month. There's a new tool, there's a new AI. It's just improved. It's now self-learning. Yeah, it's something doesn't keep me awake at night, but it does make me wonder. And like yourself, Clay, you said you left college or uni and went straight into business. I do think about like for my son though, is there going to be any point in him going to uni? Like I don't think so. It's
Yeah.
not something it's not something I'm going to discourage him from doing if he wants to, but it's not something I'm going to encourage him to do because I don't feel like there's the value in it from an educational standpoint, really.
Right there with you on that. The main reason that we went to college was because our high school was really popular doing dual enrollment, where you graduate from high school with 2 years done in college. So we only had 2 years left in college, and that's how we graduated early and got out. It's not because we're freaky smart. Carly's freaky smart, but we're not freaky smart. We just kind of got a head start on that. And so that was one of the main reasons we went, just because we were like almost done. But yeah, in terms of what I use from college in my day to day, I mean, like nothing. It's really like literally, I will be the first to say that I scathed by with just barely passing grades in college and just spent all the time I could on business stuff. And I learned a million times more from YouTube University than anything else.
Yeah, I know all the information is there at your fingertips these days. You can do online if you want to do uni courses or whatever. All of that stuff is online. I think from a interactive point of view, uni and the experiences you can get there from interacting with other humans that are going and growing up and doing that and getting experience through life, I think that's something that could be really valuable. But from a future business and life point of view, who knows? You can still get some great stuff from the interaction and the networks and the people you're with who can turn up in your future life. So that's all very good. But yeah, educationally, I don't know if there's a point for it. And I'm like you as well. I will definitely be encouraging my son towards entrepreneurship rather than getting a job. I think I definitely want to get him started on something. And we started it this summer, actually. We started one a little AI course. So he had an AI course to do over, because for us, we have summer holidays now in Australia. Our summer holidays or his summer holidays run from the end of November to pretty much the end of January. And working from home, because again, like you guys, we want to raise our kids ourselves. We don't want to put them into daycare, holiday camps, all that kind of thing. He goes to holiday camp if he wants to go, but I'd rather spend the time with him, but that means sacrificing some time at work. So I still have to do some work while he's off. So I got him an AI course to do. And I was like, let's get him started on AI because that's the future, right? So I figured I'd get him doing that. And it was about prompting and stuff like that. But he figured out pretty quickly how to cheat it as well. So he had this AI course. It was supposed to take him, they said it was like a 30-day course to do and 20 to 60 minutes per day per module. And I thought, that's great. So 20 to 60 minutes per module. And there was, sorry, per section in a module. So it was like 3 modules, and each module had whatever it was, like 10 sections. So that's 30 days worth. But there was quite a lot of prompting in it. And you know how you got to prompt things to do. And it had like simple prompts. So it would teach you how to put in the right order, like phonetically, to create a image of a brown dog eating its dinner or something like that. But it would have gaps in there. And you'd have to figure out which words went in the right place. And you just had to drag them on the screen. But when you dragged it into a spot, it would go red immediately if it wasn't the right word in the right spot. So he would just grab a word and just drag it across to go red, green. And he wasn't even looking at the words or the spot. He was just like red, green, red, oh, that's green. And he just did it so quickly. He went through the whole thing in 2 days.
Yeah. That's pattern recognition. There's a lot of that. There's a lot of that in business where it's like this could be hard or we can make it easy. Because I did online school for a year and I got busted cheating, finding answers online. Because as a kid, all the answers are right here.
Just gotta find them.
Yeah, there's just gotta find them. And I don't use anything from AP environmental science in my day-to-day. It is what it is.
Yeah, that's it. Like when he showed me what he's doing, how he got through it so quickly, because I was leaving him to do it while I was working. And I come back and he's gone through 5 or 8 modules or whatever it was. I'm like, how do you get through this so quick? He's, oh, I just do this. And I was like, I don't know if I should tell him off or just be proud of him. So I was like, okay,
Yeah.
well done, basically.
Yeah. Yeah. That's hilarious.
Yeah, kids, they're good. So I just want to go back now to you guys working the business together. So yeah, a year together now. Any conflicts during that time? Do you guys just find that you're just working well together, or is there ever like you got some conflict days? And then if you do, I don't know if you want to tell me about them, but if you do, and then how do you resolve that and move past it? Because having conflict with your significant other is like one of the most challenging things ever. I've been with my wife for 25 years, and there's times where maybe we weren't going to be together anymore. But we get through it. It can be very challenging. So have you guys had any conflict while you've been working together, first of all, or anything that you can admit to or want to share?
Yeah, for sure. You want to talk about the other day?
Oh, just the other day. Okay, this is a recent.
Yeah, you want to talk about yesterday? I'm just kidding.
Yeah. So it's funny, like most of our conflicts or even like hard times in the business, I think I get stressed about one thing, and since it's somewhat removed about what Clay does day to day, he's Carly, it doesn't matter. They didn't sign up. It's okay. Like on to the next, something like that. And then when he's feeling down about the business, I'm able to see a bird's eye view and help him. So that's been really nice. But we're not really the type to fight or scream it out or anything like that. We had a misunderstanding and I was like, no, you did not tell me that. I was not on that call. I had no idea that was something I had to do. And yes, I did. And we both looked at each other and we were like, no, you didn't. Yes, I did.
Yeah.
And
we normally aren't like that. Like normally, like I know we're both pretty quick to fold and be like, you're right. It's not a big deal. Doesn't matter what happened, what didn't. But that day particularly, we were both like, no, I'm right, you're wrong. And then we just got over it. It just like 30 minutes went by and I was like, it's not worth fighting about or being upset about. We just got over it. And like she said, it's been really nice for me because she's like probably one of the only people that can put me in the state where I'm like, none of this matters. This business doesn't matter. If it goes away tomorrow, it's fine. Like, because I'm a worrier, I'm risk averse. And so I'll get like really worked up about small things or big things. And I'm like, oh my gosh, the business is dying, whatever. Oh my gosh, when one person canceled. Like the business model doesn't work. We need to change it. Just stuff like that. And I get all doomsday. But if she gets like doomsday or she gets sad or something's upset or something's wrong, I'm like, Carly, this is literally just some like silly little thing we do on our computer every day. We can both go get jobs tomorrow if we want to, and like we'll figure it out. And so she does the same thing for me. And so it's nice that we're able to balance each other out there.
Yeah, no, that's good. And if I may give you any piece of advice, what I found, like what's kept us together, because we were talking about this in Mexico actually with a few other people, because like I shared with people, said, like, I've been with my wife now, I've been with her for 25 years, we've been married for 15, ish,
That's
Okay.
awesome.
something around there. She'll know.
All right.
Yeah,
And they were
yeah,
like,
yeah,
that's,
yeah. You're in
and they were
trouble.
like, yeah, I'm in trouble. I'm always in trouble. But they were like, that's amazing. How do you manage to do that? And I think for us, there's a couple of things. Is one that we always had a same vision of making a better life, as in we both didn't come from what we have now. My wife's Irish. She came from a little town in Ireland. I grew up in a little not great place in England. And we both wanted to create a life that we wanted to be in, which I feel like we've managed to do. Like we live now in Australia. We live in a
Yeah,
beautiful climate. We do have a nice home. I think we've built the life we wanted. We both had that kind of same direction, same North Star. So I think that's really
yeah,
important. If you've got that, you can always pull back together and go, hang on. All right, so we had a fight about A, B, or C, or whatever it, but we're still driving in the same direction. And then
yeah,
over time as well, I think it was important for us to realize that, hey, God damn it, I hate you today. You're so annoying. But I know that I love you, and I know that there's been other times when we've been fighting and like arguing or whatever, but we actually got through that and got back to the place where we love each other again, and everything's all good. So today might be that bad day, but I know that tomorrow will be an okay day. So it's just this is like today, and you can get through it. So if you've got the same direction, you can always remember that ultimately deep down you do love that person, and you can move through those things. Then you can
yeah.
just keep on
Sure.
going. Really, it's a growing thing. You grow together. Like we're not the same people
Yeah.
that we were. We got together similar ages to you guys, I guess, actually. Oh no, sorry. When did you get together actually? Sorry, I don't think I actually asked that question even at the start. You guys,
Um,
because we asked your age,
She
but how long have you been
she
together
turned
for?
me down. She turned me down in seventh grade. I was trying to date
in
her in
middle
seventh.
school.
I was trying to date her in seventh grade, and she turned me down. I wasn't good enough for it. But we started dating when we were 15.
Mhm.
So
15.
Next year we'll be together for 10 years. So
yeah, next year will be 10 years together, but married for 3-ish.
Oh wow, yeah. Oh wow. So 10 years together is pretty. Why did you turn him down in the first place, Carly? You tell us. Just cover your ears
actually,
for a second.
he's lying. I didn't turn
He's
him
lying.
down. I actually said, I was like, let's hang out. Let's go, whatever we did in middle school. I'll have our parents drive us to wherever
Yeah.
for lunch. And he got his iPhone replaced. And so he could only Instagram DM because he didn't have a phone number. And so he had to get his iPhone fixed and that it just fizzled.
Yeah, yeah, and we also had the semester class together, the first semester class together, and then we came back from Christmas break and we had no classes together. And yeah, I was like Instagram DMing her, and then I didn't have my phone, my iPod anymore, and so I quit messaging her, and it fizzled. But 15 we picked it back up. So
Came back around. That's actually awesome. Sorry, I should have asked that at the start, actually, how long you guys have been together. So yeah, 10 years together already. Yeah, like doing very well. That's amazing, guys.
That's what when you said like grow together, I think so much because we chose to go to college in the same spot. And we even talked about like in college, or actually before we left for college, is this too comfortable? Are we just comfortable in this relationship? Like we're best friends? Is this something that makes sense for us long term? And we were both, obviously we were only 18, and I'm only 24, but we were like, no, I love you. Let's
yeah,
keep doing it, see if it works out. And
yeah,
here we are.
yeah.
You guys have wise old heads on young shoulders, I feel.
We've got really good parents. And we also are really blessed because all of our parents and all of our grandparents have been all stayed married and been married for forever. So her grandparents have been together for over like 60 years. Her other side of the grandparents have been together for over 50 or 60 years. My grandparents have both sides have been both together for over 55 or 65 years. Both of our parents have been together for 25, 35 years. And so we've been really blessed and just surrounded with just good couples that have been able to make it work. So
That's awesome. Yeah, so you've been able to see that and see it actually work. And I think that's actually incredible in today's age,
I
actually,
know
because the
it's
stats of,
wild.
I think I forget whose joke it is now, but they say someone made a joke about this. The divorce rate is like 50%, but that means that there's 50% of people out there that are just cowards. They
Yeah,
just haven't
yeah,
got divorced yet. Or how many cowards are there left in that 50%?
yeah,
They're just staying together. But
yeah.
you guys have
No,
obviously
well,
got really, you guys have obviously
yeah,
got really good family values surrounding you and good support networks there, which is really cool.
for sure. Yeah, well, this is what our 24 and 23-year-old brains see. So all the opinions and things we shared are definitely subject to change over the next 30, 40 years, I'm sure. But I'll still love her in 30, 40 years.
Yeah.
and more.
Anymore.
I'm sure you guys will. And then talk about community as well. And so there's the HighLevel community that you're a great part of, Clay, as well. I know, Carly, you're supporting this now as well, but Clay, you started the journey on Carly's obviously influence of do this in the
Yeah, that's
business,
right.
Clay. So
That's right.
all credit to Carly for that. But
That's
I
right.
guess you're the face of the business there and the face in the HighLevel community, doing very well in the affiliates space there as well. See your name up on the leaderboard, very well on your YouTube channel, very well in your SaaS business as well that you're both doing together. What do you think about the HighLevel community and how that actually helps being part of that as the business model that you're running as well? Do you find that helpful as well? Because I think it's an amazing community there personally.
Yeah. For sure. Just to touch on too, what a shame that we both have these faces and my face is the one that's of the business. I feel like we probably make more money if she was the face of the business.
Which
But
phase play out, Carly, slowly?
that's right.
It
Sunset Clay, and we
Sunset
can
Clay.
slowly bring her into existence. No, but the high level community is great. I think that just having so many other people like-minded working on the same things is such a great opportunity. My business, it didn't all feel real to me until I went to my first high level event in 2024. Like at that point, I think I had a couple hundred SaaS customers, and I went because I was getting the SaaS Preneur Gold Award. It's sitting here. I should probably hang it up. But and so I went and like just going something about going there just made it all click. Whoa, this is like real business, a real software, like real people. Like this is legit. And then from there we've really been able to grow the affiliate side, and because that was what motivated me to do the affiliate YouTube side. You know, I talked to Keaton there, and Keaton's like, "Oh, you gonna post YouTube videos?" And I was like, "Okay, I will." Keaton Walker, and so yeah, it's an amazing community that fortunate to be a part of. Plus, HighLevel just as a company is a very generous and a very thoughtful company. I think obviously the founders are amazing, and so it's a good coattail to ride. That's what I know they're going to the moon, so I'm just gonna try and hold on for dear life.
Yeah, it's amazing community. And like you mentioned, the founders, there was something I saw that I was just on Facebook and there was a group, like a HighLevel group, one of the spin-off ones, because there are many. And it was a spin-off group
Yeah.
and someone was asking a question about, is there anyone who could help me with developing XYZ for HighLevel, whatever the question was. And Sean answered the question in this other random group and said, hey, this is probably what you could do. Go here to the HighLevel directory and find people in there. I was like, who does that? Like at his level, or the level of the business, what are you doing in this other little random group answering a question for someone? Like amazing. They're absolutely
100%.
inspirational guys. I've spoken to Sean. He did one of these with us last year, and like
Okay.
we try and model stuff off of what Sean does. Like, what would Sean do? Like he's trying to help
Yeah.
customers all the time. And
Yeah.
going back to a lot of the stuff that you guys said earlier about being here to serve and here to help people, that's what we're
Mhm.
trying to do with our business and our model. It's okay, we've got to help our customers at the end of the day. Like if we
Yeah.
help our customers, then that's going to help them to grow their businesses. And then the backfall of that is that they're going to stay with our business and continue and go on, and we grow, and then we get to help more customers. So got to be in that right mindset of helping all the time. If you can do that,
Yeah.
then everybody should succeed at the end of the day. Let's
Yeah.
try and make everybody win. I think the HighLevel community and the businesses around that try to run that philosophy very much. Well, certainly we do
Yeah.
as well.
For sure. It's a beautiful thing. For
Yeah,
sure.
it's really cool. We will see you at HighLevel again in this year. Going to be
I'm
coming
sure.
to Dallas in
Definitely.
2026.
Yes, we'll
will
both
be
be
there.
there, and then I'll be at a couple other events earlier in the year as well. We'll be around.
Which ones are you going to? Are you going to, because there's India, Philippines, and Mexico that have been posted at the moment. Are you going to be at any of those?
I know that I'm gonna there apparently there's a smaller one in Fort Worth for affiliates, maybe I think. And so
Okay.
in Fort Worth, Texas. So I'm going to that one in May. And then I think definitely going to Dallas. I think there's one more that I need to go to or that I'm going to go to. So I need to figure that out. But yeah.
Okay. Yeah, we'll definitely be there in Dallas, and I think I might go to the one in Mexico, and then we've got one of our team going to the one in India, and I'm going to go to the one in the Philippines as well, I think. So I'll be at a few of them.
Nice.
And we'll see what else
Sweet.
comes around as well. They haven't really announced if they're doing any others or not. So we'll get to the kind of wrap up of this now anyway. Normally, because SaaS dads, we ask, what would you go back and tell your younger self before you had children? You guys are your younger selves already. So I'm not quite sure.
Yeah.
What advice do you have for your younger selves?
Yeah. Oh man. You want to go first? You want me to go first?
You go first. I got nothing.
Oh man. I would tell my younger self to just stick with something earlier. I spent a lot of, even though I am young, I did waste a lot of time. You can ask Carly. I would come to Carly pretty much every month or every other week with, listen to this amazing new business idea. We're going to be millionaires. Just watch. It's going to work. And then I would do something for a week or 2 weeks and be like, this is actually hard. I quit. Next business model. And I did that from like the time I was 15 to the time I was still in college doing that. And I would just tell myself, hey, find something and just stick to it. They're all hard. They all have parts of them that suck. Every business model, every whatever, but just stick to something sooner. That's probably what I would tell myself. But anything for you?
Carly, anything for you? Now you're in because you're now in the entrepreneurial journey, Carly. So you've gone from working, now you're in the entrepreneurial journey. What do you think? Any advice for the younger Carly?
Younger.
Convince Clay to hire you earlier. Just kidding.
Maybe so.
Figure out how to get that pay rise from Clay.
Yeah, that's right. A raise.
Hey, it's my 1 year.
That's right.
Work.
Have you got your annual review after this?
That's right.
Little
That's
did
right.
I know.
Yep.
I think just, work hard, and I know Clay says it all the time, just got to keep my head down. And I think that's a little bit like of a dramatization of it, but yeah, just work hard and go for what you want. And at the time, I thought I wanted to climb up the corporate ladder, and I was very excited to do that. And quickly I realized that's not what I wanted to do. So it was, I think that's it. I don't know.
Yeah. Now she gets to work from home with me all day. So how great is that?
24/7.
24/7.
Good. Now, thank you so much, guys. Honestly, like, you guys are an inspirational young couple. And I think anyone watching this should seriously look at you guys and what you've achieved so far, just the way that you approach things. You've obviously you've got really wise heads on young shoulders. And I think that's amazing, guys. I think that you guys are going to do some amazing things across. You've got so far to go, and you've already gone so far. So I can't even imagine where you're going to go in another 10 years, 10 years that you guys have spent together now. Like, I see you on that. You're going to own the bay. You're not just going to have a house on the bay. You're going to own the bay, I think.
The whole thing.
The whole
The whole thing. Yeah, this is all yours. But I think you guys definitely will do amazing when you do get there, and you are a SaaS dad and a SaaS mum. I think that you're going to have some very lucky children, guys. I really wish you well on that. We'll make sure that we put some links to you guys where people can find out about Review Harvest. What's the best stuff for you guys, like your YouTube channel, Review Harvest? Anyway, good that we should put down for you guys.
Reviewharvest.com, and then my personal YouTube channel, just Clay Lawrence on YouTube. You'll find me.
Definitely. Anyone, if you're thinking about a high level journey, go check out Clay's channel. He's got some amazing videos on there as well about how his high level journey has grown, how you can do it as well. Thank you so much, guys. I really appreciate your time today.
Of course. Thanks for having us, Gary.
Awesome. Thank you.